Recording. Jeff, you have an awesome shirt on.
Dude, check this thing out.
Show it to all the YouTube folks. See, YouTube, you know what's great about you guys is you get to see stuff like that. The audio folks that listen to the podcast will never get to see that.
Never.
You know what else they'll never see? Me in my post-Christmas Rudolph impressions.
Holidays are past, everything's done, and so you got to help me out here. I've been to Florida, Orlando, like in the middle of summer, where it's just hell.
Right.
I've been there.
We call that stay inside season.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Marchish, I think.
Yeah, not bad.
Never this time of year. How does this happen?
Because it's Florida and the sun shines.
Okay.
I mean, you get sunburned, like go skiing and you get sunburned.
Yeah,
it just reflects off this. I mean, UV rays are UV rays. I was at Disney. Like,
really?
Well, yeah.
Well, of course.
We live in Florida and this is the time of year to go.
It's got to be awesome. There's nobody there because like the people go during the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Disneyland during the holidays.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Right now is so it used to be super dead this time of year, but right now they have like all through they have holidays, right? And then all through January are the race weekends. So they have like the Disney Marathon, the Disney 5K, the Disney Half Marathon.
Really?
And those are like back to back to back to back. And those bring in tons of people, so the parks get crowded again. And then you get into early February, which is Valentine's. Everybody wants to go to Disney for Valentine's Day. Like, and they've got other stuff happening around this time. Although it is much less crowded, it is not parks are empty crowded.
Yeah.
But we also have annual passes and we live here. And so like if we go and do like a couple of rides and eat some food, that's a day.
Then good.
You know what I mean? Like we're fine. I'll be honest with you. And I say this as a full grown adult. I just like being in the parks.
Yeah.
I like my buddy Matt, who does the Star Trek podcast with me. He comes down and he and I will just go. And we're like two grown dudes hanging out at Disney World just because we like being there. Now we'll do rides and we'll do attractions and we'll go see things, but we just like hanging out.
Just the whole ambiance.
It is. It's the whole ambiance. So anyway, fun fact about Brent, my skin does this thing. Like I always compare it to like, glow in the dark toys or shirts.
Right. You hold it up to the light.
You got to hold it up to the light and like it absorbs the photons or whatever and then gives it up. That's my skin is when I go out into the thing. Like this is not a sunburn. This will go away and be normal. Like you seem like where my sunglasses were. Like this will go away in a day or so and we'll be just fine. It's not a sunburn. It's just
glow in the dark Brent.
It is. And it's super highlighted by like the lighting I have and then camera work and all that. It doesn't look this bad in real life.
It doesn't look bad.
It doesn't look this bad in real life.
It looks great. You look really good.
Sure.
It's fine.
Anyway, but yes, I do live in Florida. Anyway, hey, YouTube.
Hey, hello.
We're 3 minutes in. YouTube, welcome to Jeff and Brent's show. What are we calling this thing? Babylon 5 for the first time. Today we are talking about the episode All Alone in the Night. Jeff, I've got a good one on deck for this one, man.
You've been warning me.
I've got a theory that if you guys watched my reaction show, and you haven't seen it yet, Jeff. If you guys watch my reaction show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Jeff, it is going to blow your socks off. I think.
Well, I'm not wearing socks.
It's a game changer of a theory. And this one really could be true.
Okay.
And it's going to unravel the whole thing. I think this is one I think people might be mad at me for guessing.
Okay.
And I promise you it's a total guess, but I've seen enough.
All right. Brent's ready to write the end to Babylon 5. All right.
We can skip seasons 3 and 4 and just go straight to 5. Last 3 episodes. Who knows? Did they do a 10-episode finale arc?
What? No, because they must have, because Star Trek had to have stolen it from someone. Apparently,
actually, it was in I think it was this watch video. like I got to oh yeah, because of the whole thing with Sheridan and his vision and stuff. And I was just like, you know what? I'm tired of, like, I'm just gonna let both shows be there, and it's fine. Like, I don't care. I just don't care. Like, let both shows just be. It's fine. Anyway, so what you guys are about to watch, this is our behind the scenes recording. This is the show about the show. This is the real show. This is where everything really happens. You're going to get all the outtakes. You're going to get all the bloopers. You're going to get the rabbit trails. You're going to get all the extra conversation that my buddy Jeff over there is going to cut out for the people who are the poor saps, really, who are listening to the audio feed.
Wow.
Don't tell them I said that.
They're just very time efficient people. That's what it is.
You know what? It yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And you guys, you know what's cool about you? If you comment down below, Jeff and I will talk back to you. Probably. I don't know. So many of you guys are commenting these days. It's so hard to keep up with.
Well, we were talking about it beforehand. I think we do it for like a day, maybe two, because we got to start getting ready for the next episode.
We got to move on. Yeah.
It's surprising how much work this whole thing takes.
And then life, right? Like,
that happens. Yeah.
You know, we both have families and jobs and stuff outside of this. So.
Right. And if you want to change that, if you want more, get like 10,000 more people to sign up for the Patreon, and then maybe we won't have jobs and stuff. But I mean, I don't know, 10, maybe 15,000.
And well, you know, people. get a couple 100,000 to start watching these things every single day.
Yeah, that'll do
and then we'll catch that big old check from YouTube, man.
Yeah. And then we'll do all kinds of stuff. Well, let's hit up our backup devices.
Oh, true. Done.
And let's do this.
This is my first time.
You're new here, aren't you?
First time.
Welcome to Babylon 5 for the first time, not a Star Trek podcast. My name is Jeff Akin, and I'm watching Babylon 5 for the first time.
And I'm Brent Delenn, and I'm also watching Babylon 5 for the very first time. We are two veteran Star Trek podcasters that are watching this show for the very first time, and we're looking for how this show does some of those Star Trek type messages that we're always used to as Star Trek podcasters. You know, the things that give us a hope for the future. Is it holding up a mirror to society, giving us betterment of mankind? What are those in there? And we're also trying to decide how much we like these episodes.
And while we are Star Trek podcasters, this is not a Star Trek podcast at all. So we keep ourselves in check by playing the rule of 3. And that means we get 3 references that each of us can use per episode. And that is...
That's it. 3. 1, 2, 3. No substitutions, exchanges, or refund.
I did it!
You did it! I can't believe it. You did it. I love it.
I deliver. That's how it works.
You said that happened fast too, man. I like it. I forgot all about that till this moment right here. That's awesome.
You're excited to share a huge theory that you've come up with.
I have a big theory. This is huge, Jeff.
We'll see. Will it top this? Like, that's the question. Will it top the new drop? We'll find out.
Jeff, it's one of those. I will tell you this. Either people are going to be mad at me. Like, if you're driving, pull over to the side of the road when I get to this spot. Okay? Because you're either going to like crash, you're going to be so mad at me that I got it, or you are going to laugh your butt off at how wrong I am. There is no in between. There's no like, you're so right, but you're also so wrong at the same time. No. This is one or the other. But this is my theory, and I'm sticking to it. And I've got a pretty good track record on my theories in this show.
Very eerily, almost. Well, that's a great way to set up a huge payoff coming up later in this episode. But hey, we've got some payoffs to share right now. Brent, I've got a 5-star review.
Oh, yes.
This one's from Apple Podcasts. Q4P Mike BC says...
Wow.
That took a breath after that name. He says, as a nearly lifelong Babylon 5 fan who also likes Star Trek, I've really enjoyed this podcast. There are times when I am screaming about how wrong or right you are with your predictions. Many times I yell out, just wait. I also can't tell you how tickled I get to see you experience it for the first time. Listening to you fall in love with the characters is the highlight of my day. I'm nearly caught up and will hate having to wait a whole week between episodes. You summed it up great way back in Voice in the Wilderness Part 2, though, when we said, this isn't Star Trek. This is Babylon 5.
There you go. There you go. You know, that brings up a question I have, Jeff.
Yeah?
I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, man, we are consistently getting like really good like reviews like all the time. But you remember back at the end of season 1, we did that big giveaway, and you were like, we have so many new reviews, I can't read them all. Yep. Are we still like, are these still some of those like we're catching up to that we got so many back then?
I think that's what it is, because some of them are mentioning season 1 episodes.
Yeah.
So I think that is the case, that they're coming
like this
through
is
to
this
us
is the
now.
backlog, because we're not going to read all of them in one single episode. That would be the episode. So,
and I do have a backlog in the inbox still that we're working through.
I know you
reviews. So it's a good problem. It's a great problem to have. But
you know what? Just from the future, let me reach back to all of you. Well, you guys are gonna be like, I wrote in a review, they haven't read it yet. Just wait. But thank you guys so much for all the reviews you've been writing in, and whatever, you know, Hammurabi code name person you are there. That's awesome. You nailed exactly what we love about doing it, and we love that you love watching us do this.
Exactly. Very much so. One more 5-star review for this one.
Oh, yes.
This one also from Apple. This is from Docs1289. Doc says, I followed Jeff here from his Starfleet Leadership Academy podcast. Thank you.
Good call. Yeah.
And this has quickly become one of, if not my favorite podcast. Unfortunately, I'm almost caught up. Theme there. And will soon need to wait on new episodes. It's entertaining to listen to what you get right and wrong, and I can't wait for you to find out for yourselves.
I'm going to get something right today, and you guys are going to lose it. Send all your emails in to
Babylon5first@gmail.com.
There, send all of those emails in. I won't see a single one of them, but Jeff gets them all. And send them in there and just tell them how awesome I am because I got everything right. No, don't do that because it'll spoil it for Jeff. But that's where you can email us.
Yeah, Babylon5first@gmail.com. The number 5, the word first. That's also our website, Babylon5first.com. But next, Brent, I want to talk about our YouTube channel.
We have an awesome YouTube channel. Not the channel, the community. The community that's what I'm really meant. I mean, I think our channel is pretty dope too, but the community, man, these people are awesome. And like, It's cool, like, because we've kind of gotten to know them now.
And so this is one from Christoph Lombardi that said, it is a real joy to tag along on your journey. Also, even though there are other YouTube channels out there offering reactions to B5, you guys are the only ones to do a post-reaction deep dive, and that is amazing and invaluable. I'm a longtime B5 fan and know the series inside and out, and it is a most welcome feeling having you bring new light and perspective to it. Thank you both for the amazing work you're doing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Are we really the only ones? I guess most of the other shows, they either do like a full-on reaction or they do like, hey, we're going to throw our podcast up there. I don't want to say we're the only one because I haven't done that exhaustive of a search, but in like just kind of running through my head as far as ones that actually do both, like, yeah.
We are one of, if not the only one, right? Like,
right.
Because they're so, it's funny when we started this podcast, we were talking about it, right? Just the logistics back and forth. We looked on Apple Podcasts and we're like, there are only like 6 Babylon 5
and like
podcasts.
A couple of them were defunct.
Yeah, only 4 of them look like they're active at all.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, this is a great space. And then apparently like 300 other people had the same idea because there are so many. And I really want to use this as an opportunity to say so many great Babylon 5 podcasts out there.
Yeah.
We have our awesome community on YouTube, on Twitter at Babylon First, but there's the community expands even more with a lot of great creators out there putting out some really, really good stuff. We are not we're not like brand exclusive here. We love that you're here, but check everybody out. There's a lot of really great conversation going on.
Just stay with us mostly.
Exactly. Stay here. You can look at other places.
We'll go check the other people
Stay
out
here.
too, but stay here. Well, Jeff,
Brent.
we have our rule of 3 that we do. And we have our reviews and our comments that we like to go through. One of the other segments that we do on the show that we love a lot is where we get to guess what the next week's episode is going to be based on the title alone. Now, we don't do that till the end of the show, but this is the part of the show where we get to look back on last week's guess, which was for this week's show, and see just how right we were. So, Jeff, do you remember what you said All Alone in the Night was going to be, and how close were you?
Yeah, about as far off as I could possibly be. I mean, I said Centauri Narn War, and there was a Narn in this one, and that's
A Narn with a neck.
Yeah, it was some weird
What was
safety
that?
harness thing. What is that? What does that help happen? I don't even understand. But yeah, it was going to be Londo, and he was going to be all alone in the night, and some stuff around the war. Couldn't have been further off. What about you?
I think I said that this was going to be something like, I think in my head, something like the power went out on the station, and like everybody's just going to sort of be alone. Like I thought it was literally going to be alone at night. Like people just sort of dealing with themselves, like their inner monologue or something like that. Like, yeah, that was not at all.
Well, you had some inner monologue. We had some inner monologue.
There was definitely some inner monologue here, but that's not close to anything that happened really in this episode. So with that, Jeff, for the folks at home who haven't watched this episode in a while, or maybe you're listening to this episode that we're doing and you have never actually seen this episode All Alone in the Night, you should go watch it. But Jeff, for the sake of our audience here today, would you please remind us what happened in All Alone in the Night?
Delenn, Satai Delenn, to the principal's office, please. Delenn has been summoned in front of the Grey Council to answer for her transformation and to find out her status. She tries to prep Lanier for her potential replacement, but he's going to come along with her. Ships are going missing. Babylon 5 needs to investigate. Pulling a bit of a Sinclair, but with a little more reason as to why, Sheridan suits up to lead a group of Star Furies to check it out. They don't find anything until, well, actually, yeah, they totally do. Big old ship pops out, blasts the Star Furies. Sheridan ejects and his pod is picked up by this ship, while Ramirez, a Dodgers fan, because, yeah, baseball references in a sci-fi show was only ever done in Babylon 5, until other shows totally ripped it off, I guess. But Ramirez faces lethal exposure to radiation from his engine, but forces his way back to the station to tell them what has happened. He makes it through and is rushed to Med Lab. General Haig, he's the guy that we met in Points of Departure and introduced us to Sheridan. Well, he's here for a personal visit to Sheridan and helps Ivanova lead the search for the captain. And they'd better hurry, though. Sheridan has slipped into the 6th season episode of The Next Generation, Schisms. The weird devices experimenting on him, and then he runs into some prisoners that attack him. A Drazi, I think, and a Narn. The Narn kills the Drazi, but Sheridan is able to incapacitate it. After he wakes up, they try to mount an escape, but Sheridan is interrupted by a strange vision. Ivanova and Garibaldi are there. Even he is. But everything's kind of weird. There's like a raven and a dove, and even a Kosh. Kosh has a message for Sheridan in this vision, and he even repeats it IRL. He says, "This is not linear. You have always existed here." Yikes. 2 down already. Back in non-abducted space, Delenn's visit with the Grey Council does not go well. She's been kicked off the council and has been replaced by Naroon? This is a big deal because the balance of the council is gone now. The Worker Caste has unprecedented power. They talk about racial purity and how Delenn doesn't belong anywhere anymore, and then tell her to return to Babylon 5. She does, and so does Lanier, a true friend and partner through it all. Well, things are not looking good for Sheridan. The ship keeps on plugging through space, and Ivanova hasn't gotten much closer to finding him. Until, though, through sheer dumb luck, Delenn reaches out and knows everything about these guys. The Stribe, a race the Minbari shut down before. So a joint Minbari Earth Force attack, led by the Agamemnon, swoops in, rocks the Stribe, and rescues Sheridan. All is good again. Until, that is, Haig and Sheridan finally get to sit down. The fix is in. Haig appears to be leading a quiet resistance on Earth, resisting President Clark and his cronies and their way of doing business. Sheridan has been a plant on Babylon 5 the whole time. He was planned for by former President Santiago. Sheridan tells Haig that the command team of Babylon 5 is loyal, and then they all agree to do something. Something to uncover how Santiago died, maybe, and to stop the dark tide that is sweeping across Earth. Brent, what did you think of All Alone in the Night?
Jeff, I got to be honest, I was worried about this episode.
Yeah?
I was real worried about this episode. We have been not nice to season 2 so far. It started off real rough. And then we had a good couple of episodes. And then we had last week. And I really needed this to be a good episode. And oh my gosh, did it deliver. I mean, this was, I noted early in the episode that this was written by JMS himself, and I held a lot of hope. Talk about moving the ball down the field. Like, this episode pushed Delenn forward. It changed the makeup of the Minbari Council, the Grey Council. It unveiled a bunch of stuff we didn't know about Sheridan. This is, I don't know if this is a full-on retcon or if this is what they had in mind from the beginning with Sheridan, because there was no hints, none whatsoever, that you could have gotten this. We're bringing back General Haig. We brought back the Agamemnon. We've got Kosh is shown. I mean, it feels like whenever we see Kosh, that's a
right.
You can mark the marquee things that happen because Kosh comes in the episode for a line and then goes away. It was a good episode. I was mad though. I was so mad because you're getting to that spot. At some point, you have to give people answers. You have to let people in on what's actually happening. And we got that with Sheridan, that he's been this plant the whole time. He's doing stuff. And then, all right, let's get the crew together. Are you guys in? Are you in or out? Okay, here's what's going on. And credits. And Jeff, I do not believe that this is a cliffhanger. I do not believe that we're going to open up on the next episode right where we've left off and we're going to hear the second half of that conversation. I don't think that for a single second. And that makes me so mad, so upset, because this is my crew. This is the group I need to be in on. I don't need this group holding secrets back from me as a viewer, right? Like, they're supposed to be our proxy into this world. So I'm a little mad, a little upset, but I have faith. Might even say faith of the heart. That's a complete waste of a reference, by the way.
It's still good. It was still super good.
Couldn't help myself.
Literally every person listening thought that. As soon as you said faith, they all thought it.
Every single one of you. And I will just say this. Lanier, good dude.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. I like Lanier. How about you, Jeff? What did you think of this episode?
Same. This was so good. So good. And I felt like I've said it a couple times before where I kind of don't care about the Shadows stuff anymore, right? The Centauri Narn stuff is exciting and cool. The stuff with Delenn and the Minbari is interesting and I want to know more, but I'm all about the Earth, human, Mars, whatever stuff. So this moving this forward,
dude, the shout out to Psycor, like, who's involved? Psycor, probably.
Boom!
Like, Psycor's that. You've got the whole Earth Force thing going on. You've got President Santiago and his old deal, and yeah, that I think is certainly the center stage of what's going on right now.
Yeah, and we've been saying the Psycor thing for, since midway, in the first season. I mean, we saw it coming. So to hear that from me is just like, yes, total validation. But I think my beef with this episode, though, was like there was the Delenn stuff that needed to move forward. I'm going to assume that the vision that Sheridan had on that ship means something somewhere. And then that very last little boop scene with General Haig, all that other stuff with the Stribe, like I will be shocked if we ever see them again. Like I feel like that was really?
I will not.
Because Minbari rocked them before. Earth Force Minbari just rocked him a second time. I feel like if we see them again, they're going to come in on the side of Earth and Minbari or something like that. But I don't know. It felt more throwaway than it needed to. That doesn't make any sense. But the whole thing just kind of, I mean, they dropped these little pieces. Let me back up a little bit. I don't think we're going to see them again. I think we're going to see that device that sticks on the prisoners' heads that controls them. I think we will see that again.
Okay, let me ask you a question. So they had Sheridan. They had what we're going to assume was the Drazi. I don't really know what he was, but there was the Drazi dude. There was the Narn guy, which, by the way, his name in the credits was Narn.
Well, that's what my notes called him. So pretty on brand.
But then, like, when everything was blowing up, we saw some people running through the corridor that were the Roswell Greys.
Totally. The ones that were in that.
The Stribe, or is that another group of prisoners?
I totally thought that was the Stribe, and I think they were the ones. In Grail, where they had the court scene, and the guy was like, "My great grandpappy was abducted by your great grandpappy," and they had the little Roswell alien in there, and so I think the Stribe are like a part of the tapestry of Babylon 5 already. There's just, I don't know, because it was a total abduction story.
But they didn't seem to know what the Stribe were until Delenn told them about it.
But how is that different than anything else that's happened with Earth Force? From Soul Hunter to the Grail Hunter to everything. Earth is the one being like, what do you mean?
If you're on the station in front of the ombuds, they're going to know you at that point. They're going to know at least your species. Like there's a basic things that you do on an alien station.
But at that point, they hadn't, we saw that alien for 4 seconds, right? And I think that Sheridan saw him for even less. The people back on Babylon 5 never saw them. They just knew there was this big ship abducting people and schisming them.
Okay. Well, since you're talking about this, Jeff, my theory.
Okay. Oh, already?
And it is. And it happened early in the episode for me.
Okay.
The whole thing with the Stribes might completely wreck everything about this theory. I will acknowledge that straight away. However, I could still be right in my theory, even without the Stribes. Okay. Or even with the Stribes, I guess. Little backstory. All right. Way back in the episode of Chrysalis, I want to say it was Chrysalis. Was that the one where Morden sent his people after and like destroyed that whole Narn colony?
Yep.
That was Chrysalis, right? Okay. When we first saw those ships, I remember thinking then, I don't know if I said it in this show or if it was in my recap. I don't remember where, but I remember thinking then, I was like, okay, are those ships or are those like big, huge aliens?
Mm-hmm.
Because they look like spiders, like they look like bugs. They don't look like ships, right? And you don't really ever get a good look at them. So I've kind of had that in the back of my head, right? Like where I just sort of said, we saw laser beams coming out of them, so they've got to be ships, not organisms. All right, so fast forward to this episode. That one ship that comes out and captures Sheridan. I'm looking at it, and I said to myself, I went, man, that ship sure looks like it has a mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Is this? And then like the tractor beam came out of it, right? Like, I'm like, okay, so fine, it's a ship. And then we saw Sheridan inside the ship on the table, and he's yelling, he's talking. All of a sudden, the door in the ship opens up, and that big claw arm comes down and starts talking to him. And all of a sudden, it hit me. Jeff, I think I know what this is.
Okay.
Now you're gonna have to go all the way back to one of our most hated episodes from season 1. Infection.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. And do you remember what the whole thing about infection was?
Right. The biotech weapons.
Organic tech.
Mm-hmm.
Organic tech. And when we saw this, it kind of looked like, now you said that they went off into that schisms, another world. It looked to me more like fluidic space from species 8472. That's 2 for both of us, right?
That is, yeah.
Okay.
Early on.
It looked more like the fluidic space. I could be where I don't think that's what it is, but that's just what it brought to my mind. Anyway, I think it's organic tech. And Jeff, here's the thing. Even if this is just Stribe and this is something else, what if the shadows are organic tech?
Oh.
And that's the coming war.
Oh.
That, because remember how they just decimated their planet that made them, and they've been living kind of in this other deal. They're out on the rim. There's this big thing. They're coming. All, everybody better beware. All of this stuff. What if the shadows, and think about it, those ships that they kind of look like organisms, but maybe they're actually people. And then you get those people buzzing in and out and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know what they've got over Morden. I don't know if he's got one of those little thingies on his face that's just like implanted inside his brain. I don't know what's going on with that. But what if this is my theory. The shadows, their whole thing, they are the organic tech that we learned about in Infection.
Wow.
That's my deal. People out there are either freaking out or they're laughing their butts off at me right now. One of the two.
Well, and what I love about your theory is that it gives me a chance to talk about Mass Effect, because that's kind of like, I've compared the shadows a little bit to the Reapers in Mass Effect before, and that's kind of what it is this blending of organics where they actually take the DNA or whatever and they build these big sort of ships that represent like this ship is the race of whatever, and maybe it's the same thing with the shadows. Wow.
I just think about it, man. Think about it. And this ship certainly looked organic techy to me.
Very
Like,
much.
it looked like the ship itself might be alive because, like, at the right time, the bindings that were on them, which looked less like bindings and more like the ship just sort of wrapped them in, like they kind of fell apart. The thing came out of the ceiling as if it was the alien itself. The ship kind of looked like it had a mouth and it looked like it had like claws and stuff like that. So
yeah, that blanket holding him was kind of mucusy almost.
Yeah,
and the probe even had like a hand, like War of the Worlds hand kind of a feel to it.
Yeah. And like I said, it might be destroyed because if this is actually an alien group called the Stribe and they have absolutely nothing to do with the shadows, they're completely separate, then it kind of shoots a hole in that just from watching this. But it's still possible that even if that is true, the shadows really still could be the organic tech thing.
Totally. And maybe, and this is, I guess, like I just made that huge assumption that the Stribe was that little Roswell guy running away. The Stribe could be the ships, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Or maybe the Stribe are the little Roswell guys who just have some sort of a symbiotic relationship with the ships or something. I mean, I made a ton of assumptions based on, they're the Stribe. We destroyed them once. Let's go destroy them.
That was my first thing. Like in the reaction video, I was like, oh no, does that kind of destroy? I was like, oh, but wait, what if they're actually the other prisoners with them? Or what if it's something else and it still could be the Drew? Like,
yeah, totally could be.
So that's my theory, Jeff. That's my big theory. That's the big thing I've been prepping for.
That's huge.
I think it could be true.
Yeah. So far, it holds up completely, I think.
To everything we've seen so far, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, listen, this is just a reminder to those of you out there. Please neither confirm nor deny that what I just said is true. This is where we are at this moment. All we want you to do is to go squeal, you're so close and you're so far, and I'm going to tell you which one. Or, oh, I want to talk to you about this, but I'm not allowed. Maybe we should have a place where people could go talk about what we've just talked about, Jeff.
Yeah, I bet we probably would have something like that. Maybe if you clicked some of the links down in the description or the show notes, you might be able to get there.
Discord thing or something. Patreon, yeah.
So I'm not gonna. Yeah,
I don't know, Jeff. You don't seem as blown away by it as I thought you were going to be.
So I don't think I was blown away by it as I thought I was.
Because I oversold it.
It checks out. You know what I mean? Like it's just you say it and you're like, yeah, it's not mind blowing. You know, like when you
I thought it was mind blowing.
when you said back in season 1, Sinclair is a Minbari. That was mind blowing. What? Out of nowhere. And then the pieces slipped into place afterwards. But I think here you say shadows are organic tech, and it's like, yeah, I feel like we've skirted right on that for a lot of this season, or since we figured out kind of what the shadows were.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's huge because of the implications it has on a larger galactic scale. You know, it's like this isn't just a bunch of baddies coming in to blow people up. Mm-hmm. This is an evolution. If it's organic tech or biotech or whatever, this is like an evolutionary step.
Yeah. And that's what Kosh starts talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he says to Morden, like, they're not ready for you yet. Or what did he say to him?
I think
like
that's
way
what
back.
Yeah, they're not ready, or they're not for you.
They're not for you, or something like that. Yeah. Like, and Kosh is a thing. And don't forget, it was that same episode right before Delenn went into the cocoon and got hair and all that sort of stuff. She went and saw Kosh, and Kosh like flashed her.
Yeah.
Showed her her whole self. Like, what we still don't know what Delenn saw when he did that. You know, please don't tell us.
Yeah, don't. And you haven't so far, and thank you for that.
Thank you for
great.
That. Yes.
Let's I want to I've kind of put my notes in, I actually organized them this time, but let's talk a little bit more about the Scribe and just the whole kind of sequence of events that led to him there. Because I think like two things early on that I thought were really big. One, way back in Signs and Portents, the Shadows blew up the big Raider ship, where they'd done all that investment into the ships that could make their own jump gates. Mm-hmm. And then Sheridan said that the Raiders are still pretty much out of business.
Right.
So I thought that was a cool piece of continuity. But I want to personally, I'm gonna look into the camera here. This is my camera. This is it. Okay. JMS, thank you. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for hearing my concerns and wrapping them up in a nice, neat bow. Sinclair put himself in danger needlessly time and time again. And here, you go and have Sheridan do the same thing, but you explained it. He wants that flight pay. He misses the cold embrace of the stars surrounding him. Sheridan had a reason. And JMS, thank you for listening. Thank you for being a subscriber to Babylon 5 for the first time. That was awesome. I don't know if you were as moved by that as I was, but literally he gave his reasoning. I'm just like, yes, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ivanova also gave a similar reason when she went out.
Mm-hmm. She did.
After Sheridan did. But yeah, whenever Sheridan went, like, it really looked like just hey, this is the guy that we've already paid to be in the show, and so we're going to let him go. It was the Kirk thing.
Right. There's
right,
your three. Look at that.
But it's the Kirk thing. Like, he's going to be the hero in every situation, whether it's right or wrong. And it really wasn't until we got to Picard and Riker that's like, hey, you're actually not supposed to go do that. So
yeah,
I'm glad they didn't do that. I didn't know Ramirez. Is he new?
I think so. I've never seen him before.
Because what happened to Keffer?
Yeah.
Like, where's Kev? This guy's in the opening credits. What's going on?
He's still recovering from his time with Large. Like, that was a go.
That was emotional.
It was
emotional.
I liked Ramirez. I liked him.
I did too. I hope he sticks around. Like,
he died. Brent, he died.
Did he die?
He did.
Did he actually die?
He died in his last
I think I might have been making a note or something when that happened.
His last breath is what saved Sheridan, actually. Like,
right.
He was a real hero. And I thought it was cool how they brought him in. But again, like,
that's why it couldn't have been Keffer, because they made him die. So we got to bring in somebody else. He's the red shirt. Oh,
he was he was the red shirt. And we are out of references.
We're out. That's it. No, no more.
And I have more references in my notes, so I'm gonna have to work around. But I was cool. What I didn't like about that whole scene though was like it's just them like, still shoving Franklin down our throats, right? Like Franklin hanging out with Garibaldi and then talking about baseball and
well, but then he had to be in that little council meeting at the very end too because he's like a guy.
Apparently.
Yeah, like we're gonna just have to deal with Franklin, dude. They're not shoving him down our throats. He's just in the cast, man.
They're all in on him.
I gotta use him.
If I were Sheridan, he's the last guy I'd bring in on some conspiracy thing, but
right.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, the guy running an underground railroad,
Probably not the guy you want.
Is honorable, but actually, I don't know.
Well, and here they are.
Hey, can we talk about that?
Yeah,
like I want to talk about that. So, Haig comes in, and he's like, "Okay, tell me what's going on. The room's not bugged. Blah 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 blah." They're all loyal to Earth Force.
Mm-hmm.
They're all loyal to Earth. And he talks about all of them being loyal to Earth. For a minute, it sounded to me like they were going down the route of the Earth First people.
Oh, okay.
And what's that whole movement called? I forget.
Home Guard.
Home Guard, yeah. Mm-hmm. Like it almost sounded like they were going that direction with it. You know, and to sit there and say that they're loyal to Earth, not to the mission, not to and Jeff, this is not a reference. This is an actual discussion point. This is a difference between Babylon 5 and Starfleet. Okay, actually, maybe this is a reference. Shoot, I don't care. But I've got to make it. Like Starfleet exists for the betterment of going out and exploring and bringing peace to the galaxy, which is kind of what Babylon 5 is supposed to do. But yeah, he doesn't say that they're loyal to the mission of Babylon 5. He says they're loyal to Earth. They're loyal to Earth. Mm-hmm. And now there's this sort of like, I think I labeled them, they're like the Earth Force anti-coup squad.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to prevent the coup that has already happened. Let's face it, the coup is done.
It's done. They're in power.
They have succeeded.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're going to try to take their government back.
He said a thing though, and it really rang true for me. So when I enlisted in the military, I had to do this twice because I went through the delayed entry program and then actually shipped off to boot camp. But you stand in a room with a bunch of other yahoos that are about to go to boot camp, and you raise your hand and you make an oath in there. And one of them is to protect the United States from all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Right.
So when General Haig said, they're loyal, so they will protect Earth from threats both outside and within. I was like, okay, I get it. This totally rings true for me.
Yep. Yeah, and I noted that too, and that was sort of the saving grace.
Mm-hmm.
But for a minute, like I really was like, oh no, Sheridan's bad, but he can't be bad because how often are we going to replace our show lead? Like,
right? Do that. I'm gonna skirt around the reference, and if you pick up on it, you're gonna do like every season have a different captain that just randomly comes in and leads your ship into the future. I thought it was great though how Sheridan did call Haig out on like doing this, and he's like, dude, you don't know that you're gonna walk out this room and I'm gonna call Clark, and tell him what's what. And then he goes through, he's like, no, I know you're not because you're a patriot. And I thought that was great, but totally unrelated. I just wanted to share that like when he said that, I hate that the word patriot sounds like a bad word now.
It does. Yeah.
Like back to your point of like, he's going down that home guard route. That was my initial reaction. If he's a patriot, I'm like, oh no. No, that's me coloring it with unfortunate modern history.
It's become such a politicized word, right? And I mean, whichever side of the political spectrum folks fall on. Here, I will tell you, I got an email the other day, and I'm not really sure why I'm on this person's email list. I'm really not. It was a political funding email. Well, I guess it wasn't the other day. This is a long time ago. This is, I guess, back before elections. You know, like it was a while. Okay. But it just, this sort of stuff sticks in my head. And the email read, and I'm not going to say who it was, but y'all will know. And this person said, Brent, you are one of my most loyal patriots. And I was like, dude, I ain't your nothing.
Right.
You know, and the same dude was like, I wish my people would respect me as much as Kim Jong-un's did. And I was like, I'm not your people. That's literally what America is we're not yours. Like, I'm not loyal to a person.
Yeah.
I'm not even loyal to a party. I'm loyal to my country.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I think that's what made this scene so complex to watch in 2023 is that there are all these new dimensions to everything. We're back in 1995, I think, when this aired. It was relatively straightforward. I mean, yes, we had domestic stuff going on, but not like we do today. And it was pretty clear, right? Yep, you are pro-Earth.
Mm-hmm.
That means pro-Earth is not Earth first. But you're a patriot, and because you're a patriot, I know that you're going to stand up and you're going to do the right thing. And so I had to pause and like take off the lens, the 2023 lens, to watch to watch this scene. I noticed though, we never heard Sheridan's answer. Higgs said, "I got 20 minutes. I got to get onto my transport and head home. I need you to answer me right now." And then it cut with him pulling in the command staff. So you said Sheridan can't be a bad guy. And I agree on surface.
Yeah.
But what if he said no? And he's pulling them in some like counter-terrorist espionage. I don't think that's the case, but I'm just asking it.
If Babylon 5 was being made today, I could give you some credence. Babylon 5 was made in 1990. This is what, 95?
Yeah, I think.
When this episode's made. That's just not how TV was done then.
True.
Okay.
Well, but this is Babylon 5. Babylon 5 is not how television was done.
It's true. That's fair. That's very fair. But I don't know. Like, this is the story of the good guys, you know? And even if they reveal that he said something different, it's going to be for good and noble causes that we're going to be on his side. Like, we're going to be on the side of Sheridan. We'll be on Haig's side if and only if Haig stays on Sheridan's side. Like, that's how this is going to roll.
Sheridan's like our North Star.
Sheridan, he's going to be the hero. Yeah, you're right. He is the guiding post. He's our General Hammond.
Okay.
You don't understand that reference.
I don't, but a general, like, it sounds good.
Yes,
right?
he's our I'm trying to think of others. He's our the president, the president from Battlestar Galactica.
Rosalind.
Roslin, yeah. He's our president, Roslin. He's our Luke Skywalker, or our Yoda.
Our Yoda, right? Maybe more like a Mace Windu. I'm not really sure. Take whatever. Yeah, any of those.
You know what I mean?
Going back to the Stribe ship and Sheridan.
Yep.
Do you want to break down that vision that Sheridan had?
Please do, because they all had ravens on there, or not all of them, but I saw ravens on a lot of shoulders.
Yeah, I felt like, so I actually went back and watched this, like tried to bust it up. And so Ivanova was the first that we saw there. And I'm pretty sure that was a raven. Why would she have a crow, but I'm guessing that.
Sure.
Another version of Sheridan that he was looking at, which also like but the way the scene was lit, the fact there was a lot of the back and forth really took me back to that episode where Sinclair was with the Knights, right? And the Knights were, I'm trying not to reference, the Knights were in his brain, right? And trying to pull out information. I wonder if this was initially meant to be a return to that storyline for Sinclair. But instead of Sheridan, so they twisted it up a little bit. But there's another Sheridan. There's Garibaldi, and I feel like Garibaldi was a white bird, like a raven or a dove, raven and the dove. But he said, Garibaldi spoke, and he said, "The man in between is searching for you." Then Ivanova, I'm thinking it was Ivanova. She had some weird makeup on and like a veil. She said that he is the hand. You are the hand.
Of the king, because this is Game of Thrones.
Exactly. I mean, apparently.
That's exactly what I thought she meant there.
One of the Sheridans turned around at one point, and he had a Psychor badge on.
Did he?
So I do have a theory that
how many times did you go back and break this whole thing down?
I probably took 15 minutes, like pausing on each scene and looking at it, because it moved so fast and it had kind of that weird, like cloudy quality to it.
Yeah. Jeff, next time you do this, I need you to do some like screen grabs so we can throw it up for the YouTube folks.
Oh,
here.
that's a good idea.
You know what I mean?
Good idea.
Yeah.
Let's see what else is there. Then there's Kosh, right? Kosh said that he's never been away. And this, I think, is big. Sheridan's mind is now quiet enough to hear him. And then said that he's always been here.
You've always been here. Yeah. Which
So
then we saw Kosh in real life, and he just looked at him and just went, "You've always been here." And he turned around and walked away, because that's the way Kosh rolls.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, I'm sorry, goes back to, I hate to keep interrupting you. It goes back to Kosh is there like supervising.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Stirring the pot, just or not even stirring, just checking. Is the water boiling yet? No. Okay, good. Yeah, we're fine. Oh, here's this. Now you're ready.
Yeah.
And I think what got him ready is when the Stribe like probe thing came and put holes in his face that persisted, like that makeup scarring persisted through the episode. So
they
I'm
look
thinking,
like zits.
Exactly. I know. Very like symmetrical zits, which in my experience is not how those things work out.
Right.
But I wonder if they unlocked some sort of like telepathic power in him, and is Psychor in Sheridan's future? Or did it just like unlock something that quieted his mind enough that now he's on some other plane, like operating on some other plane, where now he and Kosh have like a bat phone connecting them, sort of a thing.
A bat phone?
Yeah, you know, hello, Commissioner Gordon. Yeah. A direct line, I guess, would be the thing to say. But no, I think there's a ton that happened in that, and I feel like I want to feel that that's a big part of the story coming up.
Jeff, here's what I need you to do with this.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you homework on this one.
I did your homework last week, so
I know. No, but this is going to be like, I may have to help you with this one. I need you. I'm going to commit us to doing something, and I'm probably going to live to regret this. Here's what we should do. And this will be exclusive to YouTube. So audio podcast people listening, go to our YouTube site, youtube.com/
I think it's Babylon 5 first.
Okay. I think that's right.
Or just look at Babylon 5 for the first time. We pop
just
up
Google
right
it
in search
or search it. Yeah. Babylon 5 for the first time. But we should put up a video that is breaking down this vision.
Oh.
And maybe it's a you and me. A you and me thing. Like we'll do it together and we'll break down the vision, go piece by piece through this thing of this vision. And take a look. I think that's something we should do, because you're right. This feels like that. Like we need to catch the background stuff. You take it frame by frame almost, and analyze it. I think we should do that.
Yeah, because I have a lot. I'll save them for that video because I have a lot of theories on what this is going to come out for. The big one I had is just like, oh my gosh, Sheridan's got some sort of a mind something. Telepath is what we know.
So is Sheridan also Minbari? Like, because I think we just assumed that whatever the path was for Sinclair, JMS transferred it over to Sheridan. Like made some minor changes that fit his character. You know, maybe the things is like, oh, if I could redo Sinclair, this is what I'd do. And then he had a chance to, you know? But I think that's the general idea is this is the planned path for Sinclair, and they've just moved it. So is he also Minbari? Is he something else? Like,
and that adds a whole layer to him being the Star Killer, right? Where like, if he realizes he's got that Minbari soul, and then he's Star Killer and he's responsible for the death of all those Minbari, it's a whole other layer of emotion for him to live in. Oh,
because no Minbari has ever hurt another. Wait, never mind.
Except for all the times they did. Hey, want to dive into the Grey Council and Delenn stuff?
Buddy, Naroon? It's Naroon?
Yeah, I love and hate this decision. I love it because I was happy to see Naroon again. I liked the actor, like the way he's portrayed, and the story he told coming in made total sense to me. But wow.
Yeah. My note here is I'm very disappointed in the Minbari, because the Minbari are supposed to be the better of humanity, the better side of it, right? Like that's the impression we've been getting. Like they are what we should be. And they weighted the council now towards the warrior caste, and the words he was speaking, Jeff, when he said, when he started talking about the purity of their race, diluting the purity, I'm like, wait. The Minbar are not supposed to think like that. That's not, like, I'm not okay with what is happening with the Minbari. You know?
Well, everything he said, I could imagine coming out of President Clark's mouth. Like, I just saw this stark parallel development between Earth Force, and the Minbari. And also, there's 3 castes?
Okay.
Like, what?
Okay, Jeff, do you remember a couple of weeks ago we were talking about spoilers? And I said, I've got 2 that I want to tell you about because people wrote them down in the comments. And I said, the one is what the bone thing is on the back of their head. And I said, I've got another one that's about the makeup of the Grey Council that somebody told me. And you opted for me not to tell you, so I didn't tell you.
And this is it.
That was it. I had no idea that this is where they got it from. I didn't know if it was like, this is extra material JMS put out afterwards, or, you know, whatever, but this is it. We've never heard of this third caste before.
Not one
brand
time.
New information for us.
And to have them on the council, like, I mean, oh my gosh, now I'm almost upset that someone shared that, because it changes everything with having, what is it, nine people on the council.
Yeah.
And that's part of why I think we thought it was the religious caste that was on there. They made decisions on behalf of the warrior caste during the war. And if there's 9, well, yeah, it's going to be a dominant caste. But there's 3, and
There's
it's
3 of
split
each.
3 ways,
Yeah.
but now it's only split one
keeps,
way.
And that keeps a balance of power. And now that balance of power has been disrupted. But you also don't get the idea that the Great Council fights amongst each other. Like, they may disagree, but it doesn't. You don't get the feeling like, hey, we're going to vote on this. And well, actually, I guess they do tend to vote.
Yeah, and they talk about going off to debate. And I remember it was in, it was the episode when she went back, and they basically said we're questioning Babylon Squared. Back in Babylon Squared, that one. So there was the Grey Council guy that lives in her closet, who was kind of a jerk, and then there was cool Grey Council person who was like, "Hey, here's your Triforce. Don't it's dangerous to go alone." Like, they were buddies, so they do kind of go do their own thing and then come back and debate to vote on stuff. But was that the same guy? The Triforce guy, was that the same guy that was basically firing her?
It looked like it to me. That's what I thought.
Yeah, because I thought they were buddies.
Well, but see, okay, this is the thing that gets me about this. Delenn went and told the Great Council, hey, I'm looking at doing this. And they obviously knew exactly what she was talking about doing. And they were like, they didn't tell her not to do it. They were like, maybe you should just sort of wait. Like, I don't recall a definitive, like, we forbid you to do this.
It was like, not now.
Yeah.
Not now.
And they were like, but you kind of got to do your own thing. But at the end of that episode, might have been Babylon Squared. I don't remember which one it was now. This dude shows up and hands her the Triluminary, and then she uses the Triluminary to do the cocoon.
Yeah.
Which to me is like saying, hey, if you're going to do it, you're going to need this thing. Like, that's Grey Council approved.
Yeah.
Right? So why are they freaking out now?
Exactly. And then the same guy, I mean, he was cruel to her.
Yeah.
I mean, just outright.
We told you not to do this, yet you did it anyway.
Well, and then the whole, you're not Minbari, you're not human, you're not us. Like, there was racist hate.
That was gross.
Yeah.
That was gross. I mean, that was like I thought he was going to call her a mudblood there for a moment.
Exactly.
Like, that was just nasty.
When she was giving her appeal, her speech, she appealed to their friendship, and then the future of the species. And my first thought, because I watched this episode twice, and on the first watch through, I was like, nope, you put the future of your race first and your friendship second. But when I watched it again, I was like, of course she said I'm going to lean on your friendship, because one of her friends, like, was mean girl, high school mean girl to her right before she set up into that whole thing. And then when she got in front of Lanier, and she's like, we're going back to Babylon 5. The council, I'm no longer Satai, and he's like, oh, the council is wise. And she's like, yes, they are. And she was pained, like visibly pained to say that, but she's not going to walk out. This is like one of the things that makes her great. She's not going to walk out and trash the council to Lanier. She's going to go ahead and keep it all above board and cool, but you could see, it's just visible how she was just
mean, the acting in that, honestly, both Bill Mummy and Mira
Furlan.
Yeah.
I got it wrong last week.
Their acting in this episode, respectively, was just phenomenal. And I mean, this may be jumping ahead a little bit, but we can't not talk about this and not talk about what they said. Earlier in the episode, Lanier said something to the effect of service is a matter of conscience, not of the flesh.
Yeah.
It shouldn't matter what you look like. And then she gets there and Delenn says to the Great Council, we can no longer allow ourselves to be separated by names and borders. Our two sides must unite or die or be destroyed, I think is what she said. Like, oh my gosh. First of all, you talk about the message of this episode.
Right.
Like, because that's what we're watching happen, and we now know that Sinclair is off on Minbar, basically combining Minbar and Earth people together. What's this going to happen now with the new religious caste who wants to destroy them as they are?
Mm-hmm.
Is Naroon going to go in and kill Sinclair and all the humans that are working on Minbar now?
Well, he was ready.
It seems like he would.
He was itching for a fight.
Right? So I don't like where this is going. I don't like where this is going. Like, I don't like where Londo is going. Like, I don't want them to go this direction with Minbar, and I don't want them to go that direction with Londo.
But here we are.
And
it really is like, we've got the Earth Centauri War, or the Centauri Narn War. We've got Warrior Caste running the Grey Council, and Earth Force trying to insert itself. It rings so true with what we're experiencing today, but there's the massive darkness of the shadows, rising, and everyone knows it. Everyone's talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to divide, and we're going to go fight each other on little petty
while
stuff.
This is happening. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like, all of this is happening out there. We're all seeing it, but we're going to go worry about this other. And I got to tell you, the Narn Centauri thing, Jeff, I expect, and I think this is going to be maybe a season long arc. And it's going to be like, this is just going to be sort of the appetizer. Now, I know they keep talking about the Great War. This is the year that the Great War came upon us. The Great War is coming. I don't think the Narn Centauri thing is the Great War. I think this is just this will be a flash in the pan compared to what's really getting ready to happen.
Yeah, I actually have a pretty good theory on that war for when we get to our next game that we're going to play. Yeah.
I love it there. Jeff, did you have anything else about this episode? I got one because I need to call something out in this episode.
Yeah, it's probably the last thing I've got on this, so go for it.
Okay. Yeah, so dude making a Helen Keller reference?
Seriously. Yeah.
Like,
and it being so bad in the moment that even Garibaldi is like, "Whoa, dude, come on."
When your writing is so good that you can make a horrible joke and then within the same breath of writing call yourself out on it. But think about it. Like, so these guys are a couple hundred years into the future from us, right? Okay. So calling out a Helen Keller reference, because Helen Keller's about 100 years in our past.
Exactly.
Right. So that's about 300 years removed.
At least almost 4.
This would be like on the level of us making a joke about Bach being deaf or something. Like, because at first I was like, you even know who Helen Keller was? Jeff, I guarantee you there are people listening to this show right now who are going, hey, who's Helen Keller? Look, guys, Google it. You should Google it.
Brent, there are people who believe that Helen Keller is made up.
Whoa.
There was it came out of some university something, but these students came together and said there's no way she could be real. The adversity she overcame, that's not realistic. It's not possible. You're lying to us about who she is. Yeah. There are people today questioning that.
Yeah. So, I mean, the basic story, just for anybody out there who might not know, Helen Keller was a person who was born both deaf and blind and managed to overcome it. And
she wrote books. She inspired movements, like one of the most inspirational people I think who's ever lived.
Right. And especially doing it as a girl in an era before like women's suffrage and women's rights and things like that. Like it's not just her disability, but it also is, it is connected to her gender, in that world, in that context. Like that's pretty huge. And I mean, I'm fairly familiar with a lot of that. I grew up living with my grandparents. My grandparents were both deaf. So anything that's in that world and that community is just, you tend to stand up and notice it a little bit more when you live in that world a little bit. And, Helen Keller's somewhat of a hero. Yeah. I remember my grandmother always talking about it. Now, my grandmother wasn't blind, but she was deaf. And I remember her talking about Helen Keller a lot. Like that was a personal hero of hers. So they really think she doesn't exist.
Yeah. Yeah. I read it. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like if the world ended this, like we'd probably be better off, which is a terrible thing to say.
Maybe not that far, but
yeah.
Anyway,
blowing.
Yeah. Like I just, all right. Helen Keller. All right, Jeff.
I think we have reached this part of the episode, right, where we boil this all down, see if this show has any of that Star Trek-y quality that we've been talking about here for a little bit. A deep moral message, right? Maybe it's holding up a mirror to society, giving us hope that we can be better in the future. We're going to do this by me rating the episode on a scale of 0 to 5 deltas on how Star Trek-y it is. And Brent, you're going to rate the episode on a scale of 0 to 5 Star Furies as to how much we enjoyed the episode. And I think I'll launch right where you dropped it there, how service is a matter of the conscience or the heart. And Lanier is such a great example of that. He says to Delenn, who's visibly shaken, who says that she is going to be facing darkness and fire, right? That theme of fire that we got from Kosh, a little while ago. But I mean, dark stuff. And he says, where you walk, I walk. Like that loyalty, that commitment, and that service. And even how she kind of pointed it back to him, about how, when you first came here, you wouldn't even look up. You wouldn't look me in the eyes. I told you to, but you never stopped. You never stopped, averting it. And it just speaks to the strength of service. But I think so much of the message in this episode, to me, we saw a lot of people face death in this. And we've talked before about the concept of be, do, have, right? Who you are, what you do, and what you have. And when you're faced with death, you see who you really are. And I think that what we saw in here, Ramirez was such a great example where the computer told him he had already received a terminal dose of radiation. He was going to die. So he diverted all of his life support as much as possible to the engine so he could get back to Babylon 5 and warn them about what happened to Sheridan. His dying breath was warning them that they needed to go save Sheridan. He sacrificed himself for the greater good, right? And he did so with dignity all the way through. The Narn on the ship wanted to die because there was no escape. Sheridan saw death as an option, right? Not something he wanted, but something that was an option, something he wasn't afraid of. Delenn demonstrated not through death of person, but through death of identity and, not being Satai anymore. And then just the pure hatred that they put on her. She knew who she was. Sheridan knew who he was. Narn. Narn knew who he was, and Ramirez did as well. I think that is such a strong message to know who you are and stick with it to the end. In the last episode, Sheridan said that the only certainty in war is death. In this one, he reflected further and talked about how unfair death is. Ramirez was just a kid. It doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't. So be you. There's no one else worth being. I think between the messages of service, loyalty, and being who you are, this to me was a 4 Delta episode. What do you think on Star Furies?
Yeah, I am. You said it so well. I'm not going to addend on to that because I think you just did it well. I agree. 4 Star Furies sounds right there. Or I'm sorry, 4 Deltas. As far as Star Furies, Jeff, I liked this episode. This episode left me wanting more. I don't know how much I liked this episode, given how much I disliked Gropos last week. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But there's so much to this episode to chew on. There's so much to get through. This does not feel like an episode that is a standalone episode. Like if you're just flipping through the channels and you've never seen Babylon 5 and you jump into this episode, you just feel like you would be lost. But for those of us who have been in it so far, this pulled so many threads and pulled things back together. And I think it might have even pulled threads it didn't tell you about, like, organic tech, or the techno mages. We didn't get any techno mages, but I mean,
we need more techno.
We need more techno mages. Yeah. I need more Michael Ansari in my life. Anyway, it pulled so many things together that while the episode itself as a standalone episode really may not be that strong, it is a strong episode for where we are in this series. So I'm giving this one 3.75 Star Furies.
Wow. Okay.
And that probably feels a little low to me because I think I could come back and look back on this episode and go, there's so much to chew on in this episode, but particularly the Lanier stuff. Yeah. Ramirez, I immediately liked Ramirez, and I still haven't grasped onto Kefir yet. Like I would trade you 3 Kefirs for 1 Ramirez.
100%. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he did in one episode what Kefir hasn't been able to do in, what is this, 11 episodes now?
Well, I think 3 or 4 that he's been in.
Right. I might even trade you a Natoth for, I'll trade you a Kefir and a Natoth for Ramirez.
Natoth, who's been in 1 episode this season.
Right.
1. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's where I got it right now.
Nice.
I'm going to give it 3.75 Star Furies. I could be convinced to go up later and make it more, but
that's what I feel like. This is going to be one that partway through season 4 or whatever, when these pieces drop in, we're going to look back on this episode. It's like, oh, this is epic. So good. But we don't have all that information yet.
There's a lot of potentially epic stuff. If they could just drop it, it could just be dropped, but I don't think they're going to drop much of the stuff at all.
Well, starting now in season 2, we are ranking the episodes. We are developing the absolute 100% completely accurate, objectively definitive ranking of season 2 of Babylon 5. So Brent, our top 5 right now is in first place, The Coming of Shadows. Second place, A Race Through Dark Places. Third, Soulmates. Fourth, Points of Departure. And 5, A Spider in the Web. Brent, where do you place All Alone in the Night?
Okay, I remember really liking A Race Through Dark Places. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when I do this, the only litmus test that I know that is good to use is what episode would I rather watch again first?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like if I could pick 2 episodes, if I got 2 episodes, I could pick one. Which one am I watching? That's how I got to rank this. So that being said, I think I like this one a lot better than A Spider in the Web. So I'm going to push Spider in the Web out. I definitely like this one better than Points of Departure.
Okay.
Points of Departure was a good opening to the season, but it by no means was its best episode.
Agreed.
Like not even close. So the question is, did I like this episode or did I like Soulmates better? Now, Soulmates was the one about Londo divorcing his wives, right?
Yeah, those are very different episodes.
It's an incredibly different episode. I really liked that episode, but I'm also a comedy guy. If you can make me laugh or you can make me feel something, I'm going to like that episode. But is this an objectively better episode than Soulmates? I think it might be. But subjectively, I think I like Soulmates still better than what we got out of this one. But is it like, but why do we, so here's my question back to you, Jeff. And admittedly, some of these episodes are starting to run together, so maybe you can help me out. Why do we like Coming of Shadows and A Race Through Dark Places better than Soulmates?
Well, I got to go back and look to find out.
I was just trying to do that while you were talking a minute ago. I was like, wait, what happened in these episodes?
Let's see here. YouTube, this is all for you right now.
Mm-hmm. A Race Through Dark Places was best or back.
Oh yeah,
and that was a phenomenal episode,
that was
right?
Great, yeah,
that was a great episode, and I would watch that again before I watched Soulmates.
And Coming of Shadows was the declaration of the Centauri Narn War.
Oh yeah, when everything just sort of hit.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I've got to put this one up above Soulmates. I liked Soulmates. It was a fun episode, but this one feels Coming of Shadows like. I think when we look back on season 2 and you think, okay, what are the marquee episodes, the ones that really turned the story? This has to be one of those. So I'm going to put this one up at number 3, below the Bester episode, but above the guilty pleasure. I think that is Soulmates, because I think Soulmates has to be a guilty pleasure, right?
It kind of is.
Yeah. Like,
yeah,
it was just fun. It was a fun episode, you know? So yeah, I'm going to put this one at number 3.
Wow. All right. Well, that's it for All Alone in the Night. Next week, Brent, we're watching Acts of Sacrifice for the first time. Now, we've never seen these episodes before. We haven't looked at thumbnails, synopses, anything. We don't know anything about it. All we know is the title. Based on the title alone, Brent, what do you think will happen next week on Acts of Sacrifice?
Well, we saw... You know, I always want these to like continue the story from the episode we just saw, and that never is how it goes, right? Because I want to be like, all right, so we just saw Lanier like agree to go back to Delenn, and so we're gonna find out what it cost him. That's actually where I'm going. We're gonna find out what it cost Lanier to stay by Delenn's side.
Nice.
And I really hope that we get the other half of that conversation that Sheridan had with his crew, because we need to. We need to have that information.
I don't think we're going to get it. I think we're going to get it in story bits over the next 3 seasons. Really.
Yeah, which sucks, but whatever.
I think this is the beginning of the end of the Centauri Narn War. I think it's going to end within about 2 or 3 more episodes. And this is the beginning, starting with Londo, not publicly making a sacrifice, but sacrificing something behind the scenes to save face and still be Londo, right? Doing all the stuff he does, but
this is like the redemption of Londo.
The beginning of, I think this is the beginning of it. I know a couple.
I don't like Londo right now.
Exactly. I think a couple episodes ago I talked about how he's going to die and have to kill himself and stuff. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but I think he's going to do something, sacrifice some of his dignity, his respect, his part of his reputation.
Yeah.
That will lead to, here in a handful of episodes, the end of the Centauri Narn War.
Yeah. So you and I, like, you're in agreement with me? The Narn Centauri War is just the appetizer for whatever the big thing is.
I think you've convinced me, because at first I thought this was going to be it's going to be the appetizer, but it's going to blow up into so much more. I think it is going to blow up, but I think it's going to resolve.
It's going to resolve. Yeah.
And then we'll move into so much more.
Gotcha.
At least I hope.
Me too.
Well, we'll find out here next week. Thank you all so much for joining us here as we watched All Alone in the Night. We appreciate it so much. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you're listening or watching. And if you haven't already, please head over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. I really enjoy reading your reviews here on the podcast. So Brent, until next time.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
I need to know right now, where do your loyalties lie? Are you in or are you out? Right now, I need to know.
Well,
This is my first time.
That's it right there.
and you got to wait till next week to find out, or maybe a couple weeks after that.
Right. All right, YouTube. Well, thank you guys for joining us all the way through. Hey, Club 65.
Right,
You
that's
guys
you.
rock. That's you guys right here. Thanks for doing stuff and being around. You guys are awesome. We'll see you guys next week. Like, subscribe, all that stuff if you haven't already. But if you're part of Club 65, you probably already have, which makes you that much more awesome.
Honestly, it'd be weird if you were part of Club 65 and you hadn't subscribed. And we don't have. It's not weird. It's all cool. So
You guys are awesome.
I know you've subscribed. It's cool.
There you go. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Cheers.